Okay, we are recording. All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. We're thrilled to have this webinar on today on essentially WatchGuard versus Ubiquiti. As many of you know, most of you are WatchGuard partners, and it's been a phenomenal relationship. It's going on 7 years, and about 2.5 years ago, we even created the relationship to be more beneficial for our members. And we created the most profitable way of bringing a firewall and an access point to the marketplace based off of phenomenal WatchGuard technology. And it's been a great, great program for our members. We've had a tidal wave of members move from competitive products about 2.5 years ago from SonicWall, Fortinet, Sophos, and others to WatchGuard because of, number one, great company, great technology with great cybersecurity. Number two, the profitability that has been baked into this program on a recurring revenue basis, month to month, with no software renewals on the firewalls, and we've created the same wireless access point as a service on a monthly recurring revenue basis as well. And it's turned out to be a great revenue stream for our members. And like to congratulate those that have already achieved rebates. We've had members that have been on the 7% rebate level for some time now. So as you know, we have members that are new to WatchGuard. Most of our new members coming into TAG are transitioning off of their competitive products like SonicWall and others to WatchGuard and on their way to generating this recurring revenue. So again, as you know, some of you have already achieved this level. We've got, look at Sam and others right there, a touch point. So the 7% rebate level, that creates even more profitability for everybody. So we have a number of members at the 7% rebate level. We have a number of other members at the 3.5% rebate level. And we have the 3.5%ers that are moving quickly to the 7%. And then we have another number of other TAG members that are WatchGuard partners that are on their way to achieving their first rebate level. So with that being said, you know, about 6 months ago, we featured Doug Goddard, owner of Turner Teleco. Doug runs a phenomenal business in Alexandria, Louisiana. He is the top WatchGuard partner. 2.5 years ago, he didn't do a lick of WatchGuard. Today, he is the top WatchGuard partner in this program. And just to show you what this program can do for a business, Doug has 287 units sitting out there of which is a mixture of firewalls and wireless access points. Those 287 units under our monthly recurring revenue program is generating over $375,000 on a recurring revenue basis. Prior to WatchGuard, he was selling SonicWall for cash. Prior to SonicWall, he would tell his customers to go to Amazon to buy their firewalls. Well, it's turned out to be a phenomenal recurring revenue program for him, and you can see what it's done, and you can see what it's done to your own organizations as you've been adding more and more firewall and access points to your portfolio. 45% of that is gross margin, or essentially 168,000. Oops, what did I do? Sorry there. I'll just leave it right there. 168,000 or close to 169,000 is essentially free cash flow annually to him from WatchGuard. So it's been a great beneficial program. It's been one of TAG's greatest relationships, and we're thrilled to have Matthew Perry here to dive into and show you the competitive advantages of WatchGuard versus Ubiquiti. And all of the services that WatchGuard provides wrapped around their wireless access points, not just from a support perspective, but also from a solution perspective. He is an expert in the field, and he is an expert in Wi-Fi technology. So with that being said, I'm going to stop my share here, and I am going to stop my share and have Matthew take over. So thank you, Matthew. Thank you for your time.
Perfect. And thank you very much for that introduction. And I'm so happy to be here, you guys. Let me get my share screen up here now. It's really exciting for me to be here. I love getting a chance to talk to partner groups like you guys. to let you know about what we have, especially at WatchGuard with Wi-Fi, but also to get your feedback. You know, it's a good chance for me to get an understanding from you guys. What are you guys looking for as we move forward as well? So with that, my name, yes, is Matthew Terry. I'm the product manager for WatchGuard Technologies right now, working with our secure Wi-Fi platform. And just so you get a chance to know me a little better, my main focus at WatchGuard in this product manager role is working with our development teams at WatchGuard to prioritize what we are developing, what's going into the future of our products. But like I said, I love getting the opportunity to speak with our partners, and I'm honored here today to get to share with you what we have about WatchGuard, what we have at WatchGuard to sell with our secure Wi-Fi products, and how we can, we're just that step ahead of Ubiquiti. So as we jump in here, before we start, I just wanted to address the elephant in the room. Recently, you guys have probably seen the news, certain vendors getting hacked and breached, including Ubiquiti. But just truth be told, my focus here today is not around these kind of attacks. All organizations are at risk of attack from hackers and attackers out there in the world, including WatchGuard. It's an unfortunate thing that happens, and it's something that security vendors and network vendors have to face every day. But the good side, at least, is that Ubiquiti did inform their customers, and they took action right away to inform their customers, recommending things like multi-factor authentication, just like our WatchGuard off-point multi-factor authentication. So, there is good coming out, I think, of this, awareness of that security. And at WatchGuard too, we believe in having layers of security to protect our customers, to protect our partners, to protect our employees, to help protect from these kind of breaches and attacks. So let's get right into it. Just as an overview, let's take a look at all of the features. I won't have a chance to discuss everything today, but I'll have a chance to touch on a lot of important features where WatchGuard is just a better solution than Ubiquiti. At the top there, I will be talking about later, is our WIPS security solution. This is a great solution, and I can show you why it's great. And you can also see right there on the right side of that slide, which I'll touch on in a minute. The other features, that you get just by buying WatchGuard's secure Wi-Fi or total Wi-Fi access points, the cloud management, all of the grouping and folder structure to help organize your access points by customer or by groups, by floor or any other kind of function. We have a lot of tools to help troubleshoot, to help understand, what's not working in the Wi-Fi connection, what needs to be fixed, or is there something else upstream? And I'll touch on that as well. The client emulation, this is a great tool, which I will go into. All of these other tools here, just to show that, yeah, with Ubiquiti, you might be getting a cheap access point, but you're only getting what you pay for. When it comes to security, again, you see on the right side of the screen, we have 6 identified Wi-Fi threats: rogue AP, rogue client, your authorized clients, your protected clients connecting to neighbor APs or connecting to ad hoc networks, an evil twin AP, or just having a misconfigured APs. Ubiquiti doesn't do much to detect and does nothing to even prevent any of these kind of threats. But with WatchGuard WIPS, or with WatchGuard WIPS protecting your Ubiquiti or other access points, we can detect and prevent these kind of threats from happening in the wireless network. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is our visibility and troubleshooting, just because this is a kind of underknown feature, I feel, right? There's a lot of visibility, a lot of troubleshooting that we can do to help partners, to help you guys understand when you get a call, what's going wrong, right? Why are people complaining about the Wi-Fi? So first, I wanted to talk about the dashboard applications, because it's one of the first things that you can see when you log into Wi-Fi Cloud, to WatchGuard Wi-Fi Cloud. You open up Discover, and there are a few dashboards at the top right there, applications. Now I can see certain applications. I can take a look at the health of those applications. Are there clients connecting to Wi-Fi who are using Zoom, using Teams, using GoToMeeting, especially in these times when we know a lot of people are using those kind of programs and software to connect out to customers. You know, are there clients using them, but also are there clients impacted? Are there performance issues somewhere on the network, right? Not only that, but we have here, we show 5. There are also lists down below on this dashboard that show the whole range of applications being used, or other reports showing that range. But we can choose which 5 you want to focus on, right? If I want to focus on these 5, that's great. But we've also got a few more, and we're adding more as we develop solutions in the future. I can choose 1 to 5. If I want to, only focus on 1 or 2, that's fine. I can just deselect the rest. Another great feature here, baselining, right? Wi-Fi can be a tricky technology, because while it might seem that sometimes things are working well and sometimes they're not, it's important to know what's normal. What's normal in that Wi-Fi connection? That's why we take a look at these baselines. In WatchGuard's Secure and Total Wi-Fi, we automatically do this. The access points automatically take these metrics and send this up to the cloud to get an understanding of what's the client performance, what's the application latency. Are there things that I need to alert on, right? Is there something going on that's clearly outside of my normal, right? We can tell the difference between something that's normal and something that's not expected, right? And here, these are things that you can't find in other vendors. You can't find this in Ubiquiti. I haven't seen this anywhere else out there with other vendors. This is something that we do. But really what it comes down to is you get users calling in complaining, hey, the Wi-Fi sucks. What's wrong? The Wi-Fi sucks because you suck. No, it's not that way. You're right. The users are complaining. I can't connect. The Wi-Fi is down. It keeps dropping. It's slow. So as a network admin, you're going to go in and be like, well, let's take a look at the logs. Ooh, have you tried turning it off and on again? No, it must be something problem. It's a problem with your computer, or it's a problem with you connecting to the network. Let's hope it works out in the end. Well, that's not really going to work. But fortunately, the Wi-Fi sucks doesn't mean that you suck, right? We have tools to help understand what's going on. When the one I'm going to show you now is the client journey. I love this tool. This is my favorite thing. And not only that, it is the first thing that you see when you log into Wi-Fi Cloud and you open up Discover. Right up here at the top, you can see the client journey, which shows how many clients are trying to connect. How many of them were able to get past that first step, like just talking to the access point? How many of them were able to get past that second step, which is authenticating? I've got the right passwords, or I've got the right kind of technology. I've got the right username password if I'm using enterprise authentication. And then beyond that, what's going on upstream, right? Is there something beyond the access point that's causing troubles? So for example, if I take a look at authentication here, you can hover over that and see, oh, more detail about why is that client having a failure? Why are these clients having failures? There will be some detailed explanations. Now, ePOL handshake failure may not make sense to a lot of people. That's fine. But we can go into this report, we can see what's going on, and we can get more details. I will be showing that in a minute too. You can get that report, which clients are impacted by this. I can see, I can see maybe a client name or a client MAC address here. I can see information to help me understand, well, who is this? Do I need to go out and try to find out who this is and help them? Like I mentioned before, there are problems that can happen upstream of the access points, but the user doesn't know that. I'm connecting to Wi-Fi and I can't get connection, right? I can't open a web browser. I can't get to the internet. I don't know that it's Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi problem or a wired problem, but we do. We can take a look and see, in that same kind of report, there's something wrong with the DHCP server here, right? So instead of spending hours trying to find out what's wrong with the Wi-Fi, what's wrong with the Wi-Fi, now I know it's not the Wi-Fi. Let me go find out what's going on the server. Let me go fix that. Everybody's day just gets a lot better. And again, I don't see this. I don't see this behavior anywhere. This is the only place that I've seen this client journey. No other vendor has this, not even Ubiquiti. This is a lifesaver. Like I mentioned before about alerts, you can set up alerts. Now, I don't have to go into the dashboard or log into Wi-Fi Cloud to know that there are clients experiencing network failures or that there are problems happening on my network. I can get reports to tell me, hey, there's congestion in the network, or there are problems, or there are baseline outliers, exceptions to those rules. Now I can get something in my inbox so that, oh, okay, let me go take care of that. Before users call in, before people start complaining, I can get an alert ahead of time and be like, oh, I got to go fix something, fix it, let the people get on with their day. And another tool that I love, this client emulation testing, right? You've got 2 access points. At least one of them needs to have our third radio, our scanning radio and our WIPS radio, right? We use that third radio also to emulate a client, right? Emulate a client and connect to another access point nearby. What I love about this tool is that we can have the access point be a kind of indicator of, are there problems? Is everything going to go well in today's network? I can schedule these. I can set up a test. I can create, I can see where there are authentication. I can see the DHCP, the gateway, take a look at applications. I can choose from a number of business applications or social media or other kinds of applications, or customize. I want to test that traffic to this website out there is fine. I can define all of those things for this test. You can run a test even on VoIP connectivity to see, if I'm making a lot of VoIP calls, is the quality of those calls good enough? The test can be run on demand, like I want to run the test right now to see if everything is okay, or it can be scheduled in our UI. Now, I can schedule this an hour before people start walking into the office, an hour before the store opens, to get a kind of uplifted, just that kind of first view of whether or not I'm going to expect to see problems on the network. And if I can see that there are, problems down below or problems up above, now I know, where should I start focusing things? Everything looks green. All right, we're good to go today. And once again, No other vendor does this. This is something that WatchGuard does. This is not something that you can find with Ubiquiti. So it's really added value there. The next troubleshooting, and I love this troubleshooting. This is something new that we had to discover recently, kind of late last summer or early fall, I believe, is our root cause analysis engine. And it doesn't get much better than this, really. Now, if I'm looking at clients and I see that there are clients having connection issues or having performance issues, I can take a look at that client, for example. I can dig down into that client and see, oh, okay, so my client WT010, all right, they're having some kind of connection issues. The user's complaining about, well, right here is the result of that root cause analysis, right? Oh, there will be some kind of a message here. In this case, yes, it's a 2.4 gigahertz only client. That means they're going to be running on a slower Wi-Fi technology. Maybe that's why the user keeps complaining about Wi-Fi issues. Right there. If you hover over the little light bulb icon, now you get, and click on that, you can get a recommendation from the WatchGuard Wi-Fi cloud. What can I do to fix this? In this case, of course, 2.4 gigahertz only clients, they exist on the network. That's fine. But do I need to look at upgrading hardware, upgrading the client hardware? Do I need to look at some other solution? Is it working fine the way it is? You know, those are things that you can take into consideration.
Oh, sorry about that.
Not a problem.
This is Mel. How you doing?
Mm-hmm. Good.
Doing good. Yep.
All right. So let me see. Yeah. And in this case, right, we can see the recommendation. In other cases where it might say that there is a lot of interference or that there is, you know, the signal is weak, maybe those are things that you can go in and be like, well, you know what? I noticed that this client is consistently having problems because they have weak signal. What can I do? Well, let's take a look. Do I need to add an access point somewhere nearby? Are they too far away from the access points that I already have in that office? Or maybe just move people around so that that user can get better connection to the access points that are already there. Things that you can take into consideration. So in addition to that, if I know that I'm having a lot of performance issues, I can take a look and run a report right from the top of that right from the top of this report to look for root causes of these kind of client issues. Once it kind of takes a look at all the data it has, the cloud will analyze the data for these clients and it will give you your recommendations, right? Look, I found the root cause of 2 performance issues out of the 3 clients there. And once again here, yes, there are 2.4 gigahertz clients only. So something that I can look into. Location tracking is something that is really difficult. A lot of vendors like to say they do location tracking. It's not always perfect, but we have it too in Wi-Fi Cloud. And again, I don't think I've seen this in Ubiquiti, right? I want to know about where this client is. I can select my client, take a look, I can try to locate them, right? Right there from the menu. And now I can see, you know, if I have just the visual of, well, these 2 access points can see this client, now I know, well, they're in that range of, you know, nearby these access points. If I upload a floor plan here, just the map of my floor plan, now I can also see, there will be an option to also see kind of an area on the map. We think that this client is somewhere in this area. And that's a really great feature, especially if you're looking for, it may not be looking for a specific client, but maybe when you find something, an anomaly on the network, you find a rogue AP, I want to know where it is. You find an evil twin, I want to know where it is. I used this tool a few years ago to help my IT team in locating an access point that had been left up in the ceiling of one of our office spaces in Seattle. And it was really easy to use. I was like, well, let's take a look. I see that, there's this thing that's labeled as an evil twin. It looks like a WatchGuard MAC address. Why do we have an evil twin there? Well, let's go take a look. Where is it? Oh, it's around here on the floor map. Sure enough, go look into the ceiling. There was an access point that was powered on, but unplugged from the network, that was just sitting there when we had changed out hardware. From when we had changed out hardware, somebody forgot to remove it. That's a great tool, right? This is a great tool to use. And it's something that you won't find elsewhere. Talking about the integrated analytics that we have, normally with a lot of other vendors and their Wi-Fi solutions, you need to purchase some kind of a third-party license for things like Purple Wi-Fi, Sky-Fi, GoZone, something else, just to get this kind of splash page integration, analytics information, location analytics. But with our total Wi-Fi solution, this is all included as well, right? I can create the splash pages, really simple, and I can get analytics reports on the data of who's coming in or how long people are staying, who's coming in, who connected. If we take a look, just looking at how to build out a splash page, it's a really easy editor. All I need to do is maybe upload a few images. I need to select, how do I want users to log into the Wi-Fi, to the guest Wi-Fi network? And there I go, right? It's an easy editor, all graphical, really easy to use. And then I can get information from users who are either connected to Wi-Fi, or I can get information how many people are just walking through the store, or how many people were detected by the access points in the network. This can be really useful also in the case of, with the recent pandemic. We know that there are a lot of environments where it's going to be a different kind of normal for a while. Employees are going to have the option of doing kind of a hybrid in the office, work from home. That's what we're doing right now. Right now, we're all at home, working from home at WatchGuard. 99% of our staff is working from home, but we're looking at what it's going to look like for moving into a hybrid environment. Maybe I want to find out, are the employees kind of maintaining that, hybrid, or are there more people in the office than there should be? I can use this kind of location analytics to help understand that information now too. And of course, it wouldn't be WatchGuard if I wasn't talking about security. So I'm sure many of you have seen a slide like this with our 6 known threats. If I can I'll just spend a moment discussing them. The rogue AP, right? What we define as a rogue AP is purely somebody has plugged in an AP, an unauthorized AP to your network, right? It's broadcasting an SSID, a Wi-Fi network that I don't want. Evil twin, which is somebody is broadcasting my SSID, the same SSID as mine, but they're not on my network, right? So maybe they're trying to attract my clients to their AP so that they can steal information. Specifically with these two, there's a lot of confusion. A lot of people say, oh yes, we do rogue AP detection. No, what they're really doing is evil twin detection. There's a difference between these two, and it's important to know this difference. And it's important to know that we can detect either one. In addition to that, neighbor APs by themselves, they're not a threat. But what happens when I've got my corporate laptop and you know what? Oh, I can't get through the firewall. I can't get through the firewall. I want to get to this website. You know what? I'll just kind of hop onto Starbucks Wi-Fi or the cafe Wi-Fi over there and get to that website and then come back. That's okay, right? How do we know what they're doing when they're on that other Wi-Fi? That's the threat, right? Having my protected clients jump to another network to bypass firewall rules, now we don't know what mud they're dragging into the network. We didn't need that. But we can detect it too by understanding which of our clients are intended to be protected and preventing those clients from going elsewhere. Those rogue clients, whether they're connecting to the rogue AP or I've seen, you know what, you were trying to connect somewhere else before you were connected to me. I don't need your mud tracks through my network, right? We want to make sure that those kind of clients aren't dragging in the mud onto the network. The ad hoc network is a kind of, it's a connection between client to client direct without going through an AP. Again, the same kind of threat. I don't know what's going on. It's bypassing the firewall rules. It's bypassing the network rules. It's bypassing the security. I don't know what they're transmitting between, between each other. That's, if it's a protected client, if it's a corporate client, I don't want that. And the misconfigured AP, right? Especially with a lot of single AP solutions or their self-managed solutions, you might have mistakenly set one of those APs up as an open SSID. Oops, now anybody can get connected and access my network. We'll take a look, scan for all those kind of APs in the area, make sure that none of that is happening. Make sure that all of the APs that are on your network are configured the way they should be. Another big question that I get about our trusted wireless environment, about our security, Wi-Fi security threats is, well, WPA3, that's going to get rid of all this, right? No, right? Does WPA3 get rid of rogue APs? No. WPA3 doesn't care about other APs plugged into your network. Does WPA3 get rid of evil twin? Not really. Even though the WPA3, the pure WPA3 connection is strong to prevent an attacker from knocking you off the network, it's not strong enough to prevent somebody from spinning up their own AP, their own Wi-Fi with very common network SSIDs, right? How many times have you gone to a cafe, you've connected to their Wi-Fi? All I need to do is spin up an AP that is broadcasting the same Wi-Fi name. I can trick your client into connecting to me if the signal is strong enough. Those are still, it's still a threat, even with WPA3. Protected clients connecting to that neighbor AP, again, no, that's not, WPA3 doesn't solve this. WPA3 doesn't care if your corporate laptop goes and connects to a different SSID. It's not going to prevent that from happening. We need to prevent that from happening because it's a security risk. Is it going to stop the misconfigured AP? No. WPA3 isn't going to take a look around and be like, oh, no, that one's not WPA3. It should be. It's not going to tell you anything about that. Ad hoc networks. It's not going to tell you, oh, well, this client disconnected from the WPA3 so that they could go chat amongst themselves. Nothing like that. And it doesn't protect against a rogue client, somebody else who's bringing in the mud onto the network, right? It doesn't help. WPA3 itself is great. It's a great leap in security for Wi-Fi, but it doesn't get rid of these threats. So what's so special about WatchGuard whips, right? As I showed you guys a little bit earlier, right, WatchGuard worked with an independent test lab, Meyercom, to run these kind of whips tests to see with other vendors who can detect and who can prevent any of these 6 threats. Not, this is not WatchGuard lab. This is an independent third-party vendor that we worked with to run these tests. And now, not only once, but twice, WatchGuard has passed these tests with 100% success rate. We can detect and we can prevent all of these Wi-Fi threats. Not only that, another test that we ran was in the case of a third-party vendor like Ubiquiti, who can't detect all of these and can't prevent any of these. What happens if I take just a small number of WatchGuard APs and put them into sensor-only mode, right? So I put them into a WIPS-only mode. So now all they're doing, all that AP is doing is scanning the airspace, looking for threats, and preventing those threats from happening. If I stuck one of those in an area of 3 to 4 Ubiquiti access points, can those Ubiquiti access points be protected? Yes, they can, right? That's what we call the overlay solution, right? So I'm taking a WatchGuard access point, putting it into that sensor-only mode, an overlay to the existing Ubiquiti access points that couldn't do anything here. Now WatchGuard can detect and prevent all of those threats. So in addition, you've probably, hopefully if you've been reading the Ubiquiti data sheets, you know that yes, Ubiquiti does have a dedicated security radio to handle that threat management and act as a wireless intrusion prevention system. However, currently the full-time rogue access point detection is the main WIPS feature of their security radio. And when they say rogue access point, again, we're really only talking about that one category of rogue access point, the evil twin, not this access point that is plugged into the network and broadcasting a different SSID. And when we tested, when Meyercom lab tested this rogue AP detection feature, it was not supported. It didn't work. I do have a link to the full report, which includes Ubiquiti as well as the other vendors we tested against. I think there were 4 or 5 other vendors that we tested with, and I'm blanking on all of the names right now, even though I should know them. I'm embarrassed. But you can get that report here. And a huge complaint that I often hear about Ubiquiti is that they don't provide support, or that the support is an extra cost. And even then, it's not really that great. I used to work, before I was a product manager, actually before I was a product manager, I was in our engineering department. But before that, I worked for our support team. And I helped a lot of customers. I know how it feels. But I know that our support team at WatchGuard is phenomenal. They are one of the best in the industry. And, yes, that's me saying it, but the ratings do show it. I wish I had a slide on that, but we consistently get high ratings from independent surveys about our support team. Just to show, right, that we are good. Our support team is good. In addition, we offer a number of services that are free to partners, right? This is one of the best services almost no other vendor provides, right? free Wi-Fi design service. A lot of other vendors provide Wi-Fi design service, not really Ubiquiti, but at WatchGuard, we offer this to our partners for free. It's very easy to do, and it's exclusive to our WatchGuard partners. We can do a Wi-Fi or a WIPS overlay predictive design service for the project that you're working on. So we have a team that's dedicated to this, and all you need to do is go to the WatchGuard website, watchguard.com/selling secure Wi-Fi. You can learn more. We have an online form. Just fill out the form. You will have to upload a floor plan, and it needs to be a decent floor plan. It can't be just the drawing. It has to be like a blueprint map or a 2-scale map, floor map of the venue. And our team will put together a report with information. This is where we recommend placement. This is the coverage that you'll get depending on that placement. And even, these are the units that we recommend for indoor, for outdoor, depending on the venue that you're looking at. If you're looking at something that's more like a hotel, we have our wall plate, which we might offer or we might recommend in that scenario. We'll show, like I said, the signal coverage, the expected signal coverage based on our predictive placement for both the 2.4 gigahertz band and the 5 gigahertz band. And I mean, it's really easy to use, really easy. You get that breakdown. This is how many APs we recommended. Do you need accessories to go with those? Then now I can take that. I've got all the SKUs, the WatchGuard SKUs, the part numbers. I can go put together my bill of materials. I don't think there's much easier. And like I said, it's a service that some vendors offer, but not anybody that I've seen recently offers it for free. Somebody else, there's some other perk that you need in order to get it for free. But for WatchGuard, it's available for all our partners. I don't think I've seen this with Ubiquiti either. So in a nutshell, right, I think that's the last slide I've got, but I think we have a little bit of extra time if there are some questions. And of course, my contact information here as well, if there are questions that come in later as well. And one final plug, this is the trusted wireless environment is a movement that WatchGuard started with a lot of our partners to help bring awareness to those 6 Wi-Fi threats that I discussed earlier, and help spread education, help spread, an understanding that, yes, we need a standard that will help identify where access points need to detect and prevent those kind of threats, right? WatchGuard can do this. It doesn't mean that WatchGuard should be the only one that does this, right? That's the point behind this message. So if you go to trustedwirelessenvironment.com, you can get more information and sign the petition to help bring Wi-Fi security to a global standard. All right. And with that,
thank you, Matthew.
All right, thank you very much.
Awesome, great job, great information. We want to answer any questions that you have right now, so please stay on. Anybody have any questions, comments?
This is Scott with Liberty. I've got a couple quick ones, I hope.
Yeah, go for it.
First one is, you mentioned Wi-Fi Cloud. We're familiar with WatchGuard Cloud. Is this integrated with WatchGuard Cloud? Is this a separate service? Do we have multiple customers who would attach to the same cloud management interface? Kind of or I know that in the past we've just managed a client using the built-in controller that's built into the WatchGuard firewall. So how does that look now?
So still today, yes, we have, I mean, to go over it all, we have that basic Wi-Fi, which is just, I need Wi-Fi managed by the firewall. Yes, that still exists today. The secure and total Wi-Fi, which is managed in Wi-Fi cloud. Today it's separate from WatchGuard cloud, but we're working towards an integration plan so that we can bring Wi-Fi to WatchGuard cloud as well. Now, because of course it's extremely important to us at WatchGuard that our partners, our MSPs, our providers have that one place that they need to go to manage firewalls, to manage access points, to manage endpoint services, authentication, everything else, every other product from WatchGuard. Today it's separate still, but we have plans to put it all together. And the other kind of, just to point to the other's question, we do offer a couple of ways to get what I think you're looking for. It sounds like you have multiple customers, right? There are a few different solutions to help manage each of those customers' Wi-Fi without allowing them to see each other. We do have some of our providers, some of our MSP partners also just put everything in one account and only generate reports to send out to their customers, depending on the service level that you would be willing to provide to that customer as well. So there are a few options, but that's a great question too. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, maybe just to clarify that, like Ubiquiti has a management controller that allows you to manage it's a multi-tenant controller. So we connect all our Ubiquiti clients to a single controller that's on-prem here. It's a single point of management. So it was just kind of getting clarification of what WatchGuard's trajectory is on that. But the second question, maybe you can answer both, and then that was all I've got. What about environments? I know right now WatchGuard will allow us to have a hybrid environment where we got WatchGuard access points and Ubiquiti access points. And Ubiquiti access points essentially inherit all the capabilities of the WatchGuard for the most part because they're being managed by the controller. Is that still the case now, or is there a reason why we would not want to go with a hybrid environment?
So I'm trying to think of the environment you're describing, but my understanding is that if you wanted to have your Ubiquiti access points on the controller like that, and then you have, just the WatchGuard access points just for the WIPS overlay, we do have ways for the Wi-Fi cloud to connect and get some information. I have to double check if Ubiquiti is one of those where we can get information from those controllers. But that's a good question. I'll have to take a look into that and see what capabilities we have for that kind of integration.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I don't have a question so much as just a comment on the fact of that client experience. How did you put, or was that the client journey? It was instrumental for me when we were setting up one of our new clients, WatchGuard Gateway, with 2 Wi-Fi cloud APs, and I had a misconfiguration on the router. It was very easy to determine where that misconfiguration was because I could see where everything was failing. Just a phenomenal tool.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, like I said, it's perhaps one of the underrated tools of Wi-Fi cloud, but when it comes in handy in those ones, that use case where it's like, hey, yep, there's something else on the network that's going on. Now I know where to go. That's a great comment. Thanks, Michael.
Any other comments, questions? We still have time.
John,
Hey,
John here, Jolly Electronics. How are you doing? Yeah, I mean, we've got both in the field. We've got a lot of Ubiquiti in the field. We used to put it in before we went to WatchGuard. Our biggest thing is you can't, like, if I look at the hours spent managing the Ubiquiti equipment, and we have a lot of, not so much the newer ones, the older ones that used to they would go offline, and then you'll end up having to putty into them and get them back online. If I take that management time, if you're not billing that time, yeah, it just makes no sense for me to install it. If the client doesn't see the cost, he doesn't care. He just sees a cheaper device, on the front end. But we as a business, I mean, there's just no way I want to install Ubiquiti wireless, Unify equipment anymore, just from a management standpoint, especially if you're installing it far away, like I'm sure all of us are doing now. You can't just drive over there and reset it. That to me is probably my biggest thing on the difference.
Yeah, good, John. Thanks for sharing. Absolutely. And I mean, in here, it comes down to, you get, as we all know, we get what we pay for in life. If companies, are going to go on the cheap, well, then they're buying an inferior product that they're putting themselves at risk. And the whole monthly program is designed to, low monthly costs that's built in cybersecurity. And as it refreshes, there's a new WatchGuard unit that goes out there, and it refreshes with the new technology, and everything stays updated, and the company is actually protecting itself, as you can see from the differences between the two products. So I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's huge in terms of the advantages that you have, particularly if you are competing against this type of solution. So any other comments, Gabe? I know, did you get everything that you had answered? You had some questions coming in.
I'm pretty good right now, Brian. There's just a lot of things, and I'm going to just kind of go back through. I might just watch a recording again as well. Like I said, it's just, I've been doing a little bit of WatchGuard for the past year now, and like I was saying earlier, Brian, I've made use of everything that Matthew's team puts there in their marketing, their library. It's really just kind of going back and seeing what, Matt focused on today. I'm going to try to definitely find ways to put that more into my, dialogue. There's just a lot of things I just don't know how to always just quickly on the rip come out with. There's a lot of stuff he talked about, like with whips, that in my head I know about, and I'm still at that point where I'm, interfacing with clients, and I just say, oh, it's more secure, So
Right.
there's just a lot of stuff that he's going through today. I'm like, man, I know this. I just can't. Sometimes I just have a hard time pulling it out.
Sure. No, and then I'm sure Matthew, his team, the support team, if you need to bounce anything off of them, obviously they're available for you. We're available for you if you'd like to strategize any kind of deal that you need. We're happy to work with you on that, as always, as you know. We are going to have, this is being recorded. When we post this, the PowerPoint will be posted as well. If anybody needs the PowerPoint before this goes out and you would like it right away, just send me an email. We will get that PowerPoint to you today. If you want it today, we can make that happen, obviously. And then, as Gabe said, there's a lot of material that can be leveraged and utilized to show the comparative analysis between essentially the superiority of the WatchGuard solution versus the Ubiquiti solution as well.
Right.
So,
and you did touch on a great point that, these 6 categories, these 6 Wi-Fi threat categories, yes, they're there, but sometimes it's like, it's hard to understand, well, what's wrong with the neighbor AP? I got neighbors all around my house who've got their own Wi-Fi. What's wrong with that? Right. And being able to understand, oh, that AP being over there isn't the problem, but if my clients that are supposed to be connected to the office Wi-Fi only are trying to skip town and go over there, now that's what the threat is, right? And so being able to understand really what's the threat behind this category, what's going wrong, and to be able to articulate that. I hope that you can rewatch the video and review my explanations again and kind of get a better understanding of what those are too.
I like that slide too. Those 6 known. That's something also I just need to get a little better at hitting on certain things. So these are all things I was kind of going through and thinking about my past dialogues and the areas where I can just try to refocus and and to a client, this is easier to comprehend than, you know, because I've had some, you know what I'm talking about, Matt. Sometimes you go a little too far into things like the diagnostics. They don't
Right.
care. You know, unless you're talking like the IT guys, which typically I'm a sales guy, not talking to them.
Right.
I'm usually
Absolutely.
circumventing them, trying to get to other people with the money. You know?
Yes. Yes. Who can I target? The marketing group? You guys like this analytics, right? Oh, the sales guys? You guys are going to love this. The IT guys? Oh, I'm definitely more over with those IT guys as well. So
Yeah, that's the stuff you save for later when, you know, we're cutting the product over and my engineers get to talk to them more.
right.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's the final bow on that deal.
Yes.
So these are some of the things I'm just going to go back to, just kind of recircle to in my world. So that's what I really liked about today is, you know, my takeaway.
Perfect. I really appreciate it.
Well, Gabe, we have complete faith in you. If those of you that don't know, on this particular call, Gabe is the most successful customer advocate in all of TAG, and he sells a lot of stuff every year. And we've used him as an example, Mike Meldrum, as to the right way to go about bringing on a customer advocate, as we've brought that program to our members about 18 years ago. So we have every faith, Gabe, that you're going to do it right if there's anybody that's going to do it right. So.
Yeah, like I say, repetition is the mother of skill. So we'll get there. Just keep doing
There
it.
you go. There you go. Other questions, comments, questions, anything anybody needs? Okay, excellent. Well, we'll get the recording out there. I want to thank everybody for your time. We hope you got a lot of great information out of today. Obviously, you've got a lot of great resources at WatchGuard. We want to thank Matthew for a wonderful presentation. If there's anything you need, please contact Matthew. WatchGuard, your rep, please contact us here at TAG. You'll see an email go out with the recording. Again, when the recording's posted, the PowerPoint will be there as well. As Gabe mentioned, there's a lot of marketing collateral on the back end of WatchGuard's website. If you need anything from there, go ahead and grab it. If you need any guidance from a marketing perspective, please let us know. And Matthew, thank you again for your time. We greatly appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I really appreciate getting a chance to speak with you all today. It was a wonderful opportunity, and I hope you guys got something good out of it. But if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Take care.